Shaner. Here. Scott.
Here.
Waters.
Here.
Greckin.
Here.
Moore.
Here. We stand for a moment of silent prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kevin, you want to come to the microphone there?
using them today.
Well, I think so.
We'll see, right? Thanks, man.
Every meeting.
No.
Yep, it's
This?
sounds like it.
Kevin, we have a proclamation that reads, Rotary International, founded in February 23rd, 1905 in Chicago, Illinois, is the world's first and one of the largest nonprofit service organizations with more than 1.2 million Rotary Club members in 36,000 clubs around the world. And whereas the Rotary International motto, service above self, inspires members to provide humanitarian service, encourage high ethical standards, and promote goodwill and peace in the world. And whereas in 1985, Rotary International launched Polio Plus and spearheaded the global polio eradication initiative to immunize the children of the world against polio, and thus far polio cases have dropped by 99.9% since 1988, and the world stands on the threshold of eradicating the disease. Whereas to date, Rotary has contributed more than $2.2 billion in countless volunteer hours to protection of nearly 3 billion children in 122 countries. Whereas the Rotary Club of Sioux City has been sponsoring service projects to address such critical issues as poverty, health, hunger, illiteracy, and the environment in our community for 109 years. Now, therefore, I, Robert E. Scott, Mayor of the City of Sioux City, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim October 24, 2021 as World Polio Day in Sioux City and encourage all our citizens to join me and the Rotary International in the fight for polio-free world. Thank you, sir. Say a few words.
All right. Thank you, Mayor Scott, City Council, for its proclamation. Basically, when I look at this is the evidence we have on the books for historical about the impact we have to limit the exposure and the spread of disease. So we're thankful that the status we are related to polio, and we celebrate that on an annual basis with the World Polio Day. Thank you once again from Sioux City Rotary.
Thank you. Maybe you should take up COVID-19 next and get that going first. Thank you, Kevin. Rachel, come on up. We have another proclamation that reads, whereas the Red Ribbon Campaign is the oldest and largest drug prevention program in the nation and a way for people and communities to take visible stand against the misuse of substance. And whereas Red Ribbon Week celebrates the memory of drug enforcement agent Enrique Camarena, who was tortured and violently murdered in 1985 by drug traffickers while serving as an undercover agent in Mexico. And whereas the Red Ribbon symbolizes a commitment to no use of any illegal drugs and no illegal use of legal drugs. Now, therefore, I, Robert E. Scott, Mayor of the City of Sioux City, Iowa, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of October 23rd to the 31st, 2021 as Red Ribbon Week in Sioux City, and to call upon the citizens to join the City of Sioux City and Siouxland Cares in our community-wide effort to promote this year's themes, Drug-Free Looks Like Me. I'd like to present this to you. Say a few words if you would like.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mayor Scott, and thank you to the council for your continued support of healthy choices for our young people and everyone in Siouxland. I will pass these out. Our young ambassadors, oh, thank you, made some red ribbons that I hope you'll wear during Red Ribbon Week from the 23rd through the rest of the month. And then tonight at our Mayor's Youth Commission meeting, we're going to have Rosecrans Jackson come do an activity with our youth. And then we'll also have our younger students and young ambassadors making posters for Red Ribbon Week and for bullying prevention. So thank you so much to the City Council and everyone here for promoting Red Ribbon Week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go to the consent agenda, which is items 2 through 10D. Consider them to pass unanimously unless a separate roll call vote is asked for by a council member. If you want to speak on an item, please come up as I read that item and state your name and address for the record. If you want to come up On an item not on the agenda, please come up under citizen concerns. I'll move the consent agenda.
Second.
2 is reading of the city council minutes of October 6th and 11th, 2021. 3 is a resolution assessing a $500 civil penalty against Jolly Rogers, 1100 Larson Park Road for violation of the beer, wine, and liquor laws. 4 is a resolution amending the police department's authorized pay complement by reclassifying the accounting clerk position to administrative secretary. 5 are actions relating to grants. A is a resolution accepting the grant agreement from the Iowa Homeland Security and Emergency Management.
Mayor,
Yes.
I have a question for Chief Everett. Chief, on that item, reference is made to the Iowa Urban Search and Rescue Task Force 1, and they have several chapters, is that correct?
2.
Throughout the state of Iowa?
There's 2 that make up
Cedar Rapids and us.
the Iowa Urban Search and Rescue Team. After 9/11, the Department of Homeland Security wanted each state to have robust search and rescue capabilities. Iowa decided to split the team between the 2 cities so that our response all over the state would be better. So we have 41 volunteers, all except for 3 of which are members of the department that are deployable anywhere in the state or around the country as far as, and they're search and rescue experts. We also house the dive division of the team here in Sioux City.
Okay. So they can go anywhere around the country then?
They can. Typically, they use larger teams for that, where we've historically in the 15 years of the team's history been used for natural disasters, floods, tornadoes, missing people, that kind of thing in the state of Iowa.
Okay. Thank you, Chief.
You
We
bet.
did, when I went to Katrina, the first crew in was the Harrisburg cadaver team out of their fire department. They're worldwide known.
The nice thing about the team is that it provides equipment and training right here in the Sioux City metro that we would otherwise not have. So, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
B is a resolution authorizing the receipt of scholarships from the Iowa Breastfeeding Coalition for creating a dedicated lactation room for City Hall.
I just wanted to, Mayor, just take a second to commend Semhar. I really appreciate you not only pursuing this, but usually people can identify a problem, but rarely can they find ways to fund it necessarily. So being able to go out and offset some of these costs through this grant, I think is a really great thing. So I'm glad you were able to look into that. So thank you.
C is HUD. One is a resolution accepting a cooperative agreement for process housing discrimination complaints by the Human Rights Commission. 2 is a resolution accepting a partnership grant agreement to provide education and outreach activities by the Human Rights Commission. 6 are actions relating to agreements and contracts. A is a resolution granting a permit to Fibercom to maintain underground cable in the area of Cunningham Drive and Stockyards Place. B is a resolution approving a release in connection with the development and minimum assessment agreement of Mako 1 for the Badgerell building improvements. C is ParkOnet. One is a resolution approving technology work agreement with ParkOnet for installation of revenue control equipment at the airport. 2 is a resolution approving a master subscription and software license agreement with ParkOnet for the revenue control equipment at the airport.
Mayor, I have a question for Mr. Follett on this one. Mike, it appears that we're not working with the low bidder. Am I reading that correctly?
Correct. Mike Collette, Assistant City Manager. So this was a proposal process versus a straight bid process. So we went through 2 different proposal processes. We went through a parking contractor proposal and then parking equipment proposal. So they each provide little different features and how they maintain those long term. So we looked at all the pros and cons over the future, and it was second lowest in the bid in the cost amount as well.
Okay, and then they offered some kind of a discount if you pay up front, but are we going to be doing that?
We're not recommending or proposing the 5-year commitment at this point, and we'll pay on the annual amount for the software subscription service.
Thank you.
Yep.
7 are actions authorizing payments. Items 7A, 1 to 3 are resolutions approving partial settlements of tort claims and authorizing payment. 8 are actions relating to property. A is a resolution inviting proposals for land in the combined Central Sioux City CBD Urban Renewal Area, announcing the intent to accept the proposal of 101 West Third and scheduling a hearing. B is a resolution inviting proposals for sale of land in the Rose Hill Urban Renewal Area, announcing the intent to accept the proposal of Jeffrey and Heather Bowden and scheduling a hearing. C, a resolution is proposing to sell property near 1213 South Roy Street, the petitioners Isla Jean Barr. D is a resolution approving the final plat of the residence at Elk Creek Development. E is a resolution approving a subdivision improvement installation agreement with Elk Creek Development. 9 are applications for beer and liquor license. See the list, come forward if you have questions. 10 are receipt of minutes. See the list, come forward if you have questions. Anyone want to be heard on any of those items?
Voting panels this week?
Passes 5-0. 11 is a hearing and resolution determining an area of the city to be blighted and an economic development area, and designating it as an urban renewal project and adopting amendment number 2 to the amended and restated Donner Park Urban Renewal Plan, the property of 4801 Houlihan Drive. I'll move that.
Second.
Public hearing is now open. Is anyone to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed. Passes 5-0. 12 is the hearing and resolution approving plans and specs for the 41st Street Storm Sewer Project. I'll move that.
Second.
Hearing's now open. Anyone to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed. Passes 5-0. 13 is a hearing and resolution approving a proposal to sell property and authorizing a deed. The property at 3322 West 31st Street. The petitioners Richard and Cheryl Hansen. I'll move that.
Second.
The hearing is now open. Is there anyone to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed. Passes 5-0. 14 is a hearing and resolution ascending to the request of the IDOT to annex land into the city property of at the Highway 7520 interchange. I'll move that.
Second.
The hearing's now open. Is anyone to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed. Passes 5-0. 15 is an ordinance amending Chapter 10.84 of the Municipal Code, parking restrictions during snow emergency to provide for clarification and allow parking after snow removal. I'll move that.
Second.
Bob or Dave, please come up and explain this so the public has an idea what you're doing that's different.
Dave Carney, Public Works Director. Actually, there was some confusion in the way the code was written, that under the snow emergency, parking restrictions fell under the declaration of snow emergency, but then it also said, well, upon 2 inches of snowfall. Basically, we're getting rid of the 2 inches of snowfall, so the emergency snow routes will only have parking restrictions on when there's a declared snow emergency. And then we added language, because it always becomes a little bit of a issue in downtown when the streets are cleared, but the snow emergency hasn't been lifted. When can I or can't I park on there? So it adds language saying that when the windrows are removed and the parking is clear, then even if there's still a snow emergency, you'll be able to park on the snow routes.
You follow up, Dave, with
Yep.
town partners?
Yep, I talked to Reagan on,
I'd like to know what their opinion is, and were any, because aren't we talking about a limited area for the emergency snow route?
yep, there's just a certain streets in most of them are in downtown.
Most
but
of them are downtown.
They do extend kind of up Jackson Street, or not Jackson, Pearson, Nebraska, extend up a ways towards the hospital. But
Because I sent you an email on that.
Yep.
I appreciate your response back. It was very timely. But what jumped out at me was, last time we were saying, well, how do you figure out if we had 2 inches or not? And I always thought, well, the morning news always tells you how much you've had. But my question then becomes, how do you know there's an emergency,
Well, it'll be on the morning news typically also.
a snow
but-
emergency
Yep.
declared?
Yeah, typically, that's
For
all.
visitors coming into the city, as well as our residents. You see what I'm saying?
Yep, and actually, I'm working with Tim Savona, and they are going to post it on the Tyson dynamic message board and also on the Orpheum. So people coming into downtown will have an opportunity to see that when they're driving into town. They will put up there, amongst with their other announcements, that we are under a snow emergency.
These are primarily small businesses that we're talking about, and it could really hurt them if no one really understands when you can park there and when you can't.
Yeah, this will actually make it loosen up the parking restrictions.
It's Downtown Partners thing.
Hi, Reagan Cody, Downtown Partners, 418 Pierce Street. We did talk to Dave, and this is much clearer for some of our small businesses. They weren't clear on when 2 inches really applied and how they were supposed to know. So it just makes it a little easier for us too, to promote it, so that we know when there's a snow emergency, there's really no other option than to let them know that this is going to be happening. The removal of the snow in the middle sections and parking to make it clear that you can park is also a big, I guess, coup for us, because that will help a lot too. Sometimes they visually just, if they can find a place to park, they don't care if there's snow. So knowing that that's going to be removed is easier for us to help promote and communicate with small businesses. So it's good adjustments, because 2 inches was just confusing. Nobody understood it, and whether or not they were supposed to wait for a snow emergency before they could or could not park, if 2 inches meant anything. So this really does help us. If we can get it up on the marquees, even better, but we'll promote social media to help our businesses understand it better as well.
Dave, and is it still a priority to
Thanks, Reagan.
remove snow?
From the down.
From the,
Yeah,
from the snow
Yeah, all the snow
emergency.
emergency routes are priority ones.
They're priority ones, so they start on those first.
Yep, it's the wind rows that takes the time, because we don't come back and clear the wind rows till all the streets are clear.
Hey, Dave.
Thanks, Reagan, on your comments.
Just a few things that I would ask or ask you to maybe follow up on. The first one would be, I forget the timeline, and I forget who's in charge of that, maybe Jessica. But for the convention center, getting their video boards, because that's another video board that or will that be inside? That's outside, right? Yeah. Yeah, they're going to be outside as well. And I forget the timeline of installation, but that would be another one to just loop in Kinseth. Make sure they're on the same page. And then the second thing I would urge is just a real concerted effort, work with Ann, getting that message out on social, and I know you'll do that. But then the other thing that I find helpful, that I think that maybe a lot of citizens just don't know about, is the texting, getting registered for those text alerts.
Yeah.
To Dan's point, that doesn't help necessarily people visiting our community, but I really would urge people to sign up for those text alerts.
Code red, yep.
Yes, because I think it's a great service that we allow. It lets you know right away, and then you know where you need to park, what you need to do, and what to be on the alert for. So if we can do a more concerted effort of that and coordinate with Ann, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Reagan, one more thing. You're quick. That I wanted to ask you. Could you help us get the word out to the small businesses that are affected on that route?
Oh, absolutely. I was just thinking that when you were talking about it.
Okay.
Everything that
They
Ann
should sign up
posts.
for that text alert. It's a great project.
Great
Yeah.
idea.
Anytime that Ann posts something like this, we get that out directly, and also in our newsletter, not just a social post, but
Yeah,
it goes
if-
directly to them.
If you could do it several times so that we catch on to it, because it's very difficult to,
You bet. The other thing we like to promote
follow.
with that is also utilizing our ramps. You know, in those types of scenarios, when they can't park on the street, it does help them educate them a little bit about our ramps too,
And the
which,
skywalks.
and the skywalks. You leave your coat in the car and you can get there. So we usually use those opportunities to highlight those things as well as parking in the ramps and making sure that they understand business is open and how to get to them.
thank you for your help on this.
Yeah, thank you.
That come up and I missed it?
Yeah, I was like, did we vote?
No, we're, they're all in now.
Pass 5-0. Anybody opposed to waiving statutory rule? I'll
No.
move that.
Scott?
Aye.
Waters? Greckin?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Shaner?
Aye.
I'll move second and third. Passes 5-0. Citizen concerns. Are any citizens want to be heard? Please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, please. Seeing none. Mr. Gretkin.
Nothing this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Julie.
I just want to bring up that we have our placard hearing coming up. Council does. It is Thursday at 7 p.m. I urge those who may have property that's involved who want to be reconsidered for red tagging to please show up or get in touch with Daryl at our inspections office. We really would rather see these properties rehabbed than red tagged, so please give that some thought. Got a whole book full of them.
Alex.
Yeah, just a few things. Seems like council's probably going to have a busy week. Obviously, we have the council retreat coming up tomorrow, as well as the Unity in the Community Forum, which will be held tomorrow. That's tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. at the museum is what I have. 6 p.m. at the museum. Then, of course, the placard hearing. I would also bring it to council's attention and the public's attention. If they didn't hear enough from the candidates running for city council, they haven't been reading maybe in the newspaper or watching maybe they missed the forum, the League of Women Voters Forum last week. Sioux City Growth Organization will be Siouxland Growth Organization will be hosting a forum on Wednesday. I, again, have 7 p.m. or 6 p.m., but I'm guessing it's 7, so. Is it at 6? Okay.
6 of mine.
Okay, then it is 6. I'm used to 7, but yeah.
But they advertised it as 6, I believe, Alex.
Perfect. 6 p.m. So if you want to come here from individuals running, whether it's for election or re-election, make sure to show up at the marquee on Wednesday. That's all I got, buddy.
It's at the Marquee, it's not here? Is that?
We already had
At
the
the
one here.
Remember when we went to the Marquee
Yes,
before, on the stage? It was really fun.
yep.
That's where it's going to be.
Really fun, yes.
Aren't you going to miss it?
I'll miss it, yeah.
No, come on. You can be in the audience. Come on, buddy.
Oh, yeah, we're having fun.
Can I ask questions too?
You bet,
Mounting
maybe.
a writing campaign anyway for you the last week.
I have nothing further, Mayor.
I would like Sparklight to come to this council chamber and explain, because I have this feeling they're dumping cable TV. Is that what I'm understanding?
Ooh, I didn't see that. Where's that?
Are you sure?
Not yet, no.
Well, okay, here's what it says. We will begin offering Sparklight to new video customers with switch from linear to IP-based TV. Sparklight will deliver advanced cable TV features and simple and convenient app designed to run on popular streaming devices.
It's instead of those big cable boxes, you're going to have a plug-in, like a Fire Stick type thing. They're getting rid of the big,
So they're still going to have
They're
a
still gonna
cable
have
hooked to
cable.
my TV?
yes, but you're not going to have that big cable box. They're going to transition out of those and get more modern equipment.
But you're going to have internet to run that stuff.
No,
I think they're
There's a lot of, okay, there's a lot of misunderstanding about this then, but.
We'll see if I can get Sparklight to come explain what they're.
Well, I was going to say their manager emailed us a while back.
They just
GM
emailed
did,
me
yes.
again.
Oh, when he was new to town, yeah.
No, this is new.
Oh, okay.
It's new now.
yes, that is new. My best friend is their customer service manager, so I'm kind of not.
Okay, well, I'm just saying there are a lot of old people, I'm not talking about my wife, but her and I will not want
I'm
to.
glad you brought
You're
that up.
not, right.
Where's my card?
I don't think they're eliminating your technology right now. I think they're
If
evolving
anyone
to
has,
Is my
if anyone
point.
has hotel
And we're not-
recommendations
No, it's the
for the
truth.
mayor.
We don't want to make a switch. It's
I know, but it's
difficult.
easy to plug in a Fire Stick. It really is.
Well, you have to have a TV that's an HDMI.
Right.
But a lot of people don't know that it's TV, so you're adding a lot of different costs here unless we're careful. And I just want them to explain how soon that's going to happen.
They'll come in.
You'll help me?
Help you what?
Hook up this Fire Stick you're
Oh,
talking about.
I don't know, but I have.
If you have an HDMI jack on your TV.
Well, I'm sure I do, but
I have a
Karen and I
keyboard. Do
are
I
used
have
to
to-
watching TV the way we're
I
used to
know.
watching TV, and it's not,
I've got a TiVo. Do I have to?
I'll check with Sue
Oh,
and see
man.
if Mike would like to come in and talk to council.
okay.
Okay?
Move we adjourn.
Conklin, second.
Waters,
I guarantee you.
Aye.
Gretkin,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Shaner,
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
So does that mean my TiVo won't work? Because I don't have a box of cable.